Celebrity awards are a waste of time. Welcome to Mark and Pete Live. We are a businessman and a clergyman talking about, well, lots of silliness going on these days. Now, businessman Mark, what have you got for us this time to do with award ceremonies? They're a bit of a joke, aren't they?
Well, it does appear so. And I think that many people like to see people given awards for all of their efforts in entertainment. But what seems to be happening is that the awards are being hijacked for political reasons. Here's a good example. I noticed that Tom Cruise has handed back 3 Golden Globes. And this is purely what he believes is in protest of a lack of diversity among the body. Well, is that true? I mean, is it really that he's misinterpreting things? But it doesn't end there. And this is where I think awards have lost the plot. And that is, if you look at people, say, for example, at the BRIT Awards recently, it does seem, in my opinion, as though people have lost the plot regarding their outfits. It seems as though they all turned up at a jumble sale and decided to just go to an award. Well, I don't know whether you've had a chance to look at and observe at some of their behaviour.
I had a look at it. Yes, by their very nature, award ceremonies, and then the celebrities, you know, the actors or musicians or whatever who are celebrities that attend them, it's a bit of a freak show, isn't it? So it's not much of a surprise to see it tend in that direction. But usually at such places, that they try and have an air of sophistication, but this time, that seems to have gone out the window in favour of the unusual, the bizarre, and the freakish. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, and those are the modest types.
Yes.
Yes,
there are particular, I suppose, honourable mentions we could give for the BRIT Awards. I mean, Harry Styles has a beautiful brown outfit.
Yes. Now, I have observed him because anyone who's seen the cut of his attire, well, his jacket, and this is just my personal observation, and his retro look, what appears to be as though he's gone back to the 1970s and visited his grandparents and completely cut up all of their living room and made it into an outfit. I don't know. I don't know whether you feel the same.
Yeah, it does look very serious. He's got flares on and that sort of thing, which I never thought would come back. Well, I hoped they'd never come back because they do look so ridiculous. Now, I believe that Jack Whitehall, now I don't think he was actually the main presenter, but he had a little cameo appearance there.
He did.
Now, just a gentle listener, if you can envisage him, a young gentleman with a beard and neat hair, with a shiny jacket and bow tie, but wearing faded jeans, not smart jeans, faded jeans with rips in them, which don't even come down to his ankles. Now, I was about to say, he looks absolutely ridiculous. And then I thought, hang on, is this just because I'm, too old and fuddy-duddy to look at, to understand what's going on? And I thought, yes, but it looks ridiculous anyway.
That's true. Shall we say, you could argue it is the Zoom look, meaning at the top half is very good. The bottom half is sadly missing in the sense that he just hasn't bothered. But you're right, it is an incongruous look. And maybe that is the fashion. But I come back to the point about awards that people seem to just think that they have to be ridiculous, whether it be to make a political statement, to behave oddly. I mean, the idea of, first of all, we go back to our friend, Mr. Cruise. Now, obviously, he is very concerned about what's going on in his industry. But it did sort of make me think about, is he really perhaps making a statement not just about himself, but just his friends? And I thought here, well, here's a little thought in the sense of a poem. So here's a thought when you think about awards. Everybody's all anxious, they're very tense, and they really want to make a difference. If you win an award, whether it be an Oscar or something like that, it could make a big difference to your career, whether you like the person's outfit or not. You know that it really adds a few dollars, doesn't it, to your bank account. But here's a thought. So I just thought, well, look, and the winner isn't. If you receive a prestigious award and everyone is one accord, simply begin to celebrate and go overboard and enjoy your fair reward. But if your efforts have not been scored or overlooked and just ignored, there's nothing bad or untoward. It simply means you're not adored. Yes, Mr. Cruise. Maybe this time you've been overlooked for a number of obvious reasons. And maybe others that perhaps would like to consider their position next time.
Yes. I mean, just briefly on Tom Cruise, and he's giving back his
we all
his
adore
awards for the past. Yes, we're big fans on this show. Well, Jerry Maguire was one of the roles he played that's got the award. So it was very well received. But the question I would have is not that he shouldn't have been given the awards, but that in giving them back, what is he saying? He's saying that the people who've been given them this time, they're useless because they've been chosen, presumably through prejudice, because they're all white. There's not enough people of color. But let's just turn that around. I mean, there's a huge pressure on people to choose people of color rather than white people. So the pressure is the other way. So if you just look at the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, who's choosing these awards, in looking for someone, they'd be looking first for people of color, for any ethnic minority they could find, and they couldn't find one this time. It's just that the standard happened to be not high enough amongst those groups this time. Last year it was. Next year maybe. Every single one will be black, and then he'll be pleased. And the strange thing is, in the way words are used these days, that would be regarded as diversity, being all black, but not being, say, a mix of white and Chinese. It seems to be too much of an emphasis on having black people there. Well, if all the recipients were black and they were all brilliant, that's perfectly okay. Don't get any complaints with that for me. It just should be purely on whether you think the performances were good enough. Yeah, of course, it's subjective, but that's what you should do. That's the standard.
I have a bigger issue with awards. Take aside the politics, take aside even the costumes. The thing that I find rather tedious with it is the speeches and the acceptance speeches and things like that, and the annoying hosts who think they're funny.
Self-congratulatory.
Well, I mean, indeed, why can't they just announce them? As in have a website or just have somebody who just for 10 minutes gives out the awards. Everybody can be interviewed later in their own respective fields. But let's cut out these type of shows. I mean, we would rather watch paint dry, I think, than the awards ceremony.
Yes, we're basing all this on pictures and reports from after the event. We didn't watch them, ladies and gentlemen.
No, we felt that would have required too much psychotherapy afterwards.
Yes. Value my eyeballs too much to subject them to that. But I think we can agree, actually, just in conclusion, that these award ceremonies are a waste of time because they don't achieve anything for the consumer, for the customer, but for the people involved, for the people receiving the awards. Of course, they are valuable.
Well, of course. And I look forward to receiving one for our show.
Yeah, well, and when we get an award for our show, the Mark and B show, of course, we will, of course, take back everything we've just said and turn up in ridiculous outfits and pretend that this episode never happened. But until that time, I guess that's all from us here on Mark and Beat Live. Remember to leave a comment. What do you think? What's the worst outfit that you've seen, and which awards were given just to increase diversity, do you think? Controversial points welcomed in the comments, either at markandpete.com or put it in the comments underneath the video or underneath the audio. Hasta la vista.